All right, guys, we're just going to do a quick recap here of game 2 in Vancouver, and maybe chat about a couple of things that Vancouver can look at doing heading into game 3 in Nashville.
Morrison comes right under front. Morrison scores! Brendan Morrison, a silencer! Knocked down in front. Brendan Morrison score! That is one great set of hands from Brendan Morrison. Throws the puck on goal. Morrison scores! Brendan Morrison in overtime. Listen to this place.
Well, guys, we're off to Vancouver, 7 a.m. here out east, and I got an invite from a great buddy of mine, Mark Strongman, to head to game 2 tonight at Rogers Arena. Can't wait. We'll keep you updated. I was lucky enough to be at the game on Tuesday night. I had an invite from a friend to come out to watch it, and I got to tell you, the atmosphere there was absolutely phenomenal. It was interesting being up in the stands, you know, as a former player, because normally you don't get to see or feel the energy and the atmosphere like that. I mean, you're stuck in the dressing room, you're kind of away from all of this noise, so to speak, and you're just focused on the game. As a player, obviously you come out of the tunnel and you can feel the energy, you can hear the crowd, towels are waving, and you get fired up when you come out and you hear that. But from a fan's perspective, it was completely different, and something that I found very interesting being up there. It was, I had nerves, I had goosebumps, and it was just, it was special to be a part of that atmosphere. And I know there's a lot of rinks around the league that are like that, but there's something about Vancouver with those towels and the atmosphere there that's hard to beat. So that was super cool. So okay, let's get into the game. You know what I love, what a reception for Casey DeSmith. I mean, fans chanting his name right out of the gate, you know, the introductions for the starting lineups. And then as the game started, they got into a DeSmith chant. And I mean, you couldn't have written up a tougher start for Vancouver and DeSmith. Forsberg corralled a puck on the boards, walked up to the blue line, kind of turned, fired a wrister, a high tip there from Beauvillier. And next thing you know, it's 1-0, just under 2 minutes in. But a great response from the crowd again. Love the energy. Quiet maybe for 30 seconds, but immediately I looked around and you saw people standing up in the stands, encouraging other people to get up and start cheering the home team on again. So, I mean, the reception from the fans is first class. So game progresses, and it was an interesting game. I mean, I think if you play that game 10 times, Vancouver wins that game 9 times. At one point there in the first period, I'm thinking to myself, man, Vancouver must have 12, 15 shots on net. I looked up at the Jumbotron, two shots on net. And a huge credit to Nashville for blocking shots. I think they ended up with 32 block shots in the game. And then you could say the first star of the game was block shot. I mean, that guy was all over the place, and he didn't give up anything. Every other statistical category, the Canucks pretty much dominated aside from the score. And you look at the second goal that Nashville scored, Forsberg makes a world-class move. I mean, that move and that goal is a goal in any league in the world on any goaltender. You know, he kind of goes forehand, backhand, forehand, roof, right under the bar. I mean, hey, nothing you can do. Phenomenal goal. So anyways, game's 2-0 now, but you still have the sense that Vancouver's right there. They're in this game. They just need to get that first one, okay? And then things are just going to open up. Next thing you know, it's 3-0. But it was an interesting thing. I still felt that Vancouver had a chance and was in the game. But again, an unfortunate outcome here for the Canucks in game 2. But give Nashville credit. I mean, they played like a desperate team. They did what they had to do. They hung on, is what they did. They absolutely hung on, and they scored some timely goals, and they had a little bit of luck on their side too. I mean, at the end of the first period there, Pettersson gets that puck on a phenomenal cross-ice pass from Quinn Hughes. I mean, what a pass. When he's on his game, you give him that puck there 100 times, he's going to score 99. But, you know, obviously right now he's not feeling it, right? And that's a tough spot to be for an offensive player. but it's amazing how quickly things can change. So we'll get to that a little bit. So game ends up 4-1. Canucks do get one in the second period there. A nice shot by Zadorov. You know, he walks in, kind of jams Saros. Again, that almost looked to me like it was deflected by the D-man stick. I couldn't tell for sure, but kind of jams Saros, goes, as we call it, 7-hole under his arm there on blocker side. And so now you're thinking, okay, we get one early at the start of the third. Things are going to start rolling in Vancouver's favor. But Nashville held on and scored the empty net goal. Game, set, match, and it was just a strange feeling walking out of the rink. I mean, it was almost a disbelief that Vancouver didn't win that game, but you can't hang your head. I mean, I like the way they played. They did a lot of good things. Yes, so there's some things they can do better, for sure. So let's talk about that. So going into game 3 here, into Nashville, and we talked about it previously about being the road team and just having less distractions, not having to worry about all the outside noise. You're just going in and you're dealing with business. And sometimes that can galvanize a team and bring them closer together. But a couple key things here in game 3. There's no secret the power play needs to start scoring. They're 0 for 4 in game 2, 0 for 2 in game 1, 0 for 6 in the series. Now they've had some good looks, missed the net a bunch of times, and yes, Nashville has blocked shots, as we all know. So if I'm the Canucks, what are some things that I can change on the power play? Well, I think that the team needs to start looking for shooting more one-timers, right? When you get the puck, you receive that pass, if you hold on to that for half a second, it allows the defensive team, Nashville, to kind of get into shot lanes, front pucks. When shots are blocked that frequent, then it's just human nature to be hesitant, right? I mean, to become a little bit frustrated. But just these guys are high-end offensive players. They just need to trust their instincts. And they can all shoot the puck. Pettersson, Miller, all these guys, Besser, they can fire the biscuit. So just have that mentality of be a shooter, look to get shots off quick, one-time shots. And I would even consider bringing back another righty on the power play like Philip Hronek or even Lindholm and play them on the right side flank to have that as a one-time option. You know, have Besser or possibly move Besser out to that flank position because he is a shooter. Maybe have JT Miller move to be more of a net front guy, support guy down on the goal line, and you could slide Lindholm into the slot. Or, you know, if you're going to throw Hronek out on that flank, you know, you move Besser into the slot and again have Miller work that front of the net and the goal line. But you know, a couple tweaks. I mean, there's nothing major. I mean, there's no reason for panic. Again, Vancouver controlled the play for the majority of the game. Sometimes you win games you shouldn't, and sometimes you lose games you should win. So that's how I would look at game 2. There's a lot of talk about Pettersson right now and what's wrong, but I just know personally from being an offensive guy, and you know, obviously there's pressure on him, and the most pressure he puts on him is probably coming from himself. I mean, he has high expectation, he demands a lot, and he's an elite player in the league. But I think he just has to have that short-term mentality. Reset. Don't worry about what happened, positive or negative, the shift before. Just control what you can control, and that's moving forward. So trust your instincts. But I'd like to see him shoot the puck a bit more on the power play. I mean, I know he had nine shot attempts last game. 2 missed the net, 7 were blocked. So you can imagine that does change your mentality a bit. But again, I think the message to him is just keep going, keep pushing. You know, at some point, you know, one of those block shots might hit a stick, hit a body, end up in the net. So just keep plugging away that way. Now, I know Vancouver's talked about, you know, how you get around these bodies and defenders coming out into shot lanes. And we all know the magic that the Sedin brothers created in their entire career in Vancouver. But one thing that they were phenomenal at, and they kind of introduced this to the game, if you will, was the shot pass off the half wall, where, you know, Henrik would kind of slide up the half wall, fake a slap shot, hard shot pass into the slot where Daniel would deflect that puck, and next thing you know, it's in the back of the net. So that's an option to look at. But you know, maybe changing the configuration a little bit, maybe sliding out, having a right hand on the right side flank for a one-time option, and just, you know, continue to have that shoot first mentality. Don't force pucks through the seam, and at some point pucks are going to start to go in. But as we talked about previously, when you're an offensive player and you're out on the power play and you're having good touches and the puck's moving around, and if you capitalize on the power play, it just rolls over into 5-on-5 play. You just feel good about yourself. And confidence is a funny thing. There's such a fine line between stepping on the ice every shift and thinking you're going to score, or stepping on the ice and hoping you're going to score. So having that positive mindset and the thought process that, hey, every time I get on the ice, I want the puck, I want to be dangerous, I'm going to continue to shoot it. I mean, that's the approach going forward here. I think another key moving forward here is just continuing to get traffic in front of Saros. He's not a big goaltender, but he's super athletic. You watch anytime Vancouver dumps the puck and he's out of his net all the time, knocking down pucks. He's engaged in the game, and he has great feet. He's moving his feet quick. But if you take away his eyes, and that's something that I try to teach when I'm teaching kids playing hockey, is you always see it at the lower levels where puck goes up to the point and you have a kid that's standing at the side of the net and he thinks he's doing a good job of screening the goaltender, and the puck comes and he's waving his stick trying to deflect the puck. But rather than have your body right in front of the goaltender's eyes, you can still have your stick out to the left or right and deflect pucks, but taking away the goaltender's eyes is key. And you watch throughout the playoffs, not only the Vancouver series, but a lot of series, is you have these seeing eye shots that get through to the net. People get sticks on them. Next thing you know, they're in the back of the net. So continuing to get pucks to the net, looking for one-time shots, taking away Saros's eyes are going to be big keys moving forward. But overall, I didn't mind Vancouver's game. Again, I think they win that game 9 times out of 10. Unfortunately, this was the one game that they didn't win. So head into Nashville, go right back to work, kind of have that mentality of it's us against the entire city here that we're playing against, and I think they're in a good spot right now.